Hello and welcome to today's session, Introduction to Quality Management System, QMS, for the Opentext platform. Today's presenter is Sunil Tiwari. He's our Director of Technical Operations and Compliance Solutions here at Xybion, and he'll be taking us through a live demonstration of the QMS OT product and how it facilitates quality management inside of the Opentext platform. Before we get into today's session, I want to tell you a little bit about Xybion Corporation. We are a global technology provider supporting companies that operate in highly regulated industries and provide a suite of software, services, and solutions that focus on a number of different areas. Obviously, today we're going to be talking quite a bit about quality management. Areas that Xybion also touches are compliance, risk management, or the full GRC suite, preclinical drug discovery, enterprise asset management, content and data migration, and software testing and validation. We operate at a global level and help companies who are, again, dealing with heavily regulated industries across the globe. So briefly, today's product that we're going to discuss and demonstrate is known as QMS OT. QMS OT is basically an integrated quality management solution that actually leverages the Opentext platform directly, and it does this to drive operational efficiency, whether that's through imaging, document management, as well as providing a graphical and intuitive workflow so that end users can configure actual quality management workflows directly on the Opentext platform. QMS is a value-added business workflow that sits directly on top of what is known as the Opentext content server, and it allows end users to manage things like deviations, kappas, non-conformance, change control, all of the core processes that people model in their quality management systems. There are obviously some inherent benefits to doing it this way. It's a very unique solution within the Opentext family of products because, again, it is directly leveraging the Opentext platform. Because of this, there's a reduction in overall support and administration costs. Quality management systems, particularly at an enterprise level, can be quite expensive and difficult to configure. Not so is the case with QMS OT. It helps to lower user training costs dramatically because people are working in an environment that they are already familiar with. There's a much shorter time to deployment, and the seamless integration with Opentext Content Server includes things like the documents, the security, the workflow, and the forms that may already exist in that solution. It's easy to configure and maintain, and the QMS admin interface makes it very easy for an administrator or end user to create workflows and objects. And that will be the focus of today's demonstration. We're pleased to support the latest version of Content Server, which is CS 10.5. There's multi-browser support in the application, including IE 11, and also tested on Chrome. It also supports multiple languages. Key product features of QMS OT. First and foremost, it's compliant with major regulatory standards, including 21 CFR Part 11. Xybion spends quite a bit of time, focus, and energy around the life sciences sector, so obviously we meet that requirement. There are real-time reporting capabilities. The system itself is highly configurable. It's not a one-size-fits-all. You are allowed to go in and custom create workflows, which Sunil will show you today. It allows for incremental growth and capital allocations. Scalability is unlimited, and there are additional features available for end users, which include both standard and configurable reports, status updates, email notifications. There's an ID generator included. And there's also unique many-to-many and many-to-one relationships. In terms of standard features that exist inside of the QMS application, automated ID generator, a dashboard for reporting and monitoring, a template builder, as well as an enhanced workflow painter, relationship tracking, e-signature capabilities, and entity hierarchy, as well as user-friendly administration. And again, as we go into the demonstration portion today, we're going to focus on these areas. There are specific modules inside of the application. There's a document management module, an audit, an incident management module, as well as kappa, training, and non-conformance. In essence, all of the core modules that you'll find in an enterprise class quality management application. I'm going to ask Sunil to come on and tell a little bit about the sample workflow that we have up here and describe how we're going to model this in today's demonstration.
Thank you, Kevin. Welcome everyone again. I just wanted to go through a little bit of workflow. So everybody on the call would appreciate that the kappa workflow or any kind of business process workflow, although we are all closely working on the similar kind of activities, but every organization have a different, subtle differences in the kind of workflow they work through. This is one of the sample we think is a kappa process, justifies kappa process here. So as you can see, there are like multiple sources of corrective action, right? So it could be from complaint, it could be NC, audit observation, incident, all those corrective action which comes through multiple sources. We are able to, through QMS solution, create a kappa on that. Once the kappa has been created, it goes through all the different phases where there's investigation, which happens. There is a root cause analysis. Again, on the root cause analysis, every organization has a different way of doing root cause analysis. Some people are short, some people are like, a very lengthy process of doing it. Using a QMS system helps in that regard, that you can actually configure the entire workflow. QMS being a completely 100% configurable system, you can decide at what complexity or what level you want the different stages of your workflow. Once you have your root cause analysis, we can do action plans on it, create action items, do the remedy on it, and finally verify, validate and close out the kappa. So this is a simple workflow which we have, and we have configured that for the demo. And I'll go ahead and show you the demo, and you'll appreciate how this is taken care using the QMS system.
I appreciate that. And yes, what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and move the screen over to you so we can go ahead and open up the QMS and have a look.
All right. Hope everyone is able to see my screen. Kevin, can you confirm?
Yes, I can confirm we can see it.
All right. So I'm just trying to, so I'm right now working on Content Server CS10, but as we just released QMS 7, which is our latest version on Content Server CS10. I'm logging in right now as an admin, and the idea is to go through, although it will be difficult to go through the entire workflow for the kappa, but I'm going to do a subset of it and go through it. Let me just log in. So as Kevin suggested, this is completely built within Opentext. So the first thing you see is your Opentext, a regular content management screen, which you see on your day-to-day work. What we have done is we have integrated QMS, and you will see QMS module right here, where you have various menu items, which I will go through during the demo here. Let me first go in and, as an administrator, log in to see what kind of modules are installed in QMS, right? So I'm logging in as an administrator, and let me see where the QMS is here. So once you install QMS, there are two different modules which you will see here. It's one install which will give you two menu items, Quality Management System Administration and Quality Management ID Generator. So in the ID generator, basically what we do is we allow the users to create their unique set of IDs for different steps or different document types and those kind of things. So let me just briefly go into this. What I'm planning to do is show some functionality of QMS and then go into a workflow a little bit later, right? So let me go through, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to give some pointers on where we are using that ID generator during our demo, right? So going into ID generator, what this allows us, as I said, for example, in this case, I'm going to take observation, right? So in the kappa workflow, somebody, as a role, somebody logs in an observation. So when the observation is logged, what I wanted, as a company, I wanted to put a suffix of OB to the observation with year and then the sequence of it. So I can create all these combinations of IDs using the ID generation, right? So there is observation. If I go and take a look at kappa, what I would like to do is when the kappa is generated, I would like to see kappa as a suffix with year and the sequence. So this is something you will see when we generate the kappa. when we do the demo, right? So this is one place. And going back to the admin again, let me go to the quality management system. So what we have in QMS is we have our own entities, and we have our own place where you can store your content. So what we have is something called as QMS Volume. So within the QMS Volume, you can actually store all of your kappas and all of your workflow which is going through the process at this time. So that is a one place where, and again, this is an Opentext folder, if you will. You can decide where you want to keep it, but the access to this folder is only through admin. So this is not available for everyone to log in, right? So if I go into, let's say, kappa, I can see like, okay, these are the kappa in various locations. These are the workflow currently in process. I can actually go in and see where exactly this workflow is. But this is more like a storage place, if you will. Let me go back. The other thing I wanted to also show you is we have something called as value list. Value lists are the one where you can put select list or a cascading parent-child relationship kind of a list. So any kind of data which you want to present to the user as a list item could be stored in the value list. Right. So let's look at one of the value lists here as a location. As I said, we can. There are 3 different locations I want to put for my company, and I can select that as a value list, which could be used in my forms to select. And just take a look at this and keep track of it, because I'm going to use this value list while doing the demo too, right? So this is one other place QMS has to create value lists. One cool feature of QMS is also about export and import. So the idea is that, okay, I configured the entire system, let's say in a QA environment or a development environment, and I want to move that configuration to production. I really don't have to recreate anything through this configuration export import. I could move my configuration from one server to another server just by click of a button, kind of, right? Not only that, we can also do like a partial move. So if I already have all the configuration and added a new thing, new value list or new object into my QA, and now I want to move only that object, I can do a partial move also. So this is a pretty handy tool for moving stuff into production or from QA. Other thing what we have is something called as QMS agent configuration. Basically, agents are the one which actually sits and does a daily job. I'll give you a good example of this. Would be like, I want to send email or escalation emails to my managers after 30 days of non-action on a kappa or something like that. So we can configure those agents. These are all configurable tools. There is no programming involved here, right? So you can configure the tool to send out an email after 30 days of non-action on a kappa or something like that. So again, this is one feature. I'm going to the next feature, which is data exchange. So not only do we work with our own objects in QMS, but we are able to actually work with other tables or other information which is living within your live link, right? So for example, if I want to have a lookup of organization or lookup of people, lookup of any other table within live link, we are able to exchange information from QMS objects to any other objects in living within content server, right? We can configure the QMS report. There are various formats of QMS report you can have. You can have the report in HTML, PDF, Word, Excel, CSV format. Other module we have is audit trails. So when we do this export import of configuration, or so those audits are kept with the old value, new value, when the date was, what is the date stamp, who modified it, all those kind of audits are kept within this, and you can configure what needs to be captured during that audit. QMS calendar is basically, you can enter holidays, and you can create a calendar which are like day offs in your company. That way, when you have a calendar day calculation of a certain task, if you say, oh, this task needs to be done in 3 days, it will take into account all the holidays you have within the company. So you can actually register those holidays using the calendar function here. QMS table is more like an object we have created for tabular information you want to present to the user, right? So we have an object where you can have rows of information with columns and rows, as you see in the Excel sheet. You can add that information using this table manager, or so you can define how many columns, how many, what kind of columns within the table, and then present it to the user. We also have dashboard configuration, which I'll go into it later. I just wanted to go in a little bit into configure here. So as I said, QMS has its own feeds, and it also supports multi-language. So you can have like all these 10 different languages on a specific things, right? So I can define all the entity fields I want on the form. For example, you can see there are so many. This particular legal entity is a list kind of a list type of an entity with the label. So I can define all this on the right here on one screen. I can define the entity, the field, the tabs, the state. So all this could be defined within this one single user interface which you have. So that becomes very easy to create objects, very easy to create forms, which could be used in the workflow and things like that, right? What I also wanted to show you is, so this is all about configuring your system. So on the QMS, if you see on this menu, there is a very advanced search which we have. So if I go into search, you can do a full text search. So it can do any full text search. You can do advanced search. Basically, you can filter out the information depending on what kind of user, what kind of document. And also what we have is specific to QMS is search by entity. So you can actually search, for example, if I want to search all my COPPAs, I can say all my COPPAs. As soon as I say next, it will say, okay, all your COPPA in where? So I can say, okay, all COPPA on a specific site, and I can search that information right here. And it will present me with the result where I can click in. Again, these columns which you see here on the search results are also configurable. So you can decide what you want to display on the search columns. And you can actually click on one of these and go directly into the COPPA you have created, right? So also I wanted to talk to you about a little bit on, so what we can do is I'm going to click on this one of the COPPA which I executed fully yesterday. Just go over it a little bit, and then we will do the new COPPA today. This is like a happy path, right? So I have my COPPA. As this COPPA is already closed, you will see all the information you have is, I logged in as admin, so obviously I have all the rights, but other users will have a read-only access to this. So the way the information flows here is I have my observation, which was put in, then somebody created a COPPA, right? So the COPPA is created, the investigation is opened here, investigation is open, and after that, what we have is, one second. Okay. So once you have investigation here, you go to your root cause analysis, and within you can see that on the root cause you can have multiple items, and similar to this you can also have multiple items in your action plan. So you can have an action plan, you can have action items, then you have your verification plans and verification items. All this is through a single workflow, and now once I show you how this navigation works, you will at the end of it you will see that you have all your comments here, history over here, everything is available right at the click of the mouse, if you will. So let's go ahead and do some work here. So let me go to the start page. This is where you will actually start your any process you want to start. We have a QMS start page. There are multiple things here, like for example, we also have a document approval workflow, which is there, so you can create a document. But for today's session, what we are going to look at, how do we work with COPPA. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a safety incidents, for example. I click on the safety incidents here. It presents me with a form, and you can see that since I clicked on safety, it's already pre-selected the safety. I can go ahead and fill in the information. I can put in arena, date entered, location. Let's put something here. What's the pump? I'll say this is an incident occurrence. I'll take today's date. I can now select who is going to be my safety reviewer on this one. And as you can see, as I clicked on this, this is actually filtered only the safety reviewers. So there's a bunch of users in the system, but you can actually filter what exactly you want to see. So in our case, we are going to select safety reviewer 1 to be our safety reviewer. I'll go ahead and submit it. As soon as I submit it, there's an email notification I should get, which will say that, okay, there is an incident waiting for. I can either click on this and go and, so let me just do this, right? So let me just close this. I'm going to click on this URL, go in as a safety reviewer now, since I have an observation to take care of. So I came in, I can go to my assignments now, and here you see that I have an safety review observation. So I'll go in there. I look at it, I verify everything. I say, yeah, this looks good. I probably need to create a CAPA for this. So I can just hit create CAPA on this one. Okay, once the CAPA is created, I need to submit the CAPA. So obviously I can click on this one right here. As I'm doing stuff, you can see that this hierarchy is being built. So as soon as I created a CAPA, I get the CAPA, I see the observation, and as we go through the process, you'll see this hierarchy continue to build right here. So I'll go ahead and I'll select my CAPA owner. I'll select my safety reviewer. I'll keep it the same. I'll select my CAPA closer and submit it. All right, so now the CAPA has been submitted. I will now log out and go as a CAPA owner, right, to look at the CAPA and see what I can do with it. So let me log out here and log in as a CAPA owner. All right, let's go into my assignments. And as you can see on over here, you can see that we have CAPA owner assignment for today's date, it's October 9th. I'm going to go ahead and look at this CAPA. And I feel, okay, I'll put some comment, investigate or something. I'll put my investigator. I'll select CAPA investigator 1. I'll select the date, put some deadline here. And submit it. So as soon as I submit it, again, I just wanted to make sure that you understand I'm getting this email. So everyone is all the communication is happening and the notifications are going out through the email. You can always click it, you can come back. So once I'm done this, now it's time for Investigator to actually look at the kappa and see what is it worth moving forward or not. Or he's going to put his report in the sense, right? So let me just log out of here and log in as Investigator. All right. So as an investigator, I look at my kappa. I said, okay, no leak found, no action needed, submit. So once investigator has submitted the report, the kappa owner is going to take a look at it and see if he wants to proceed with it or whether he wants to close it. I'm going to log out from here, log in as kappa owner. Look at the task list, assignments. So there is an investigation task which I have to take a look at and go in there. So I think I can, so I look at the comments and say, yeah, no leak found, no action needed, and I accept the suggestions and say, okay, that's fine, let's do this. So I accept the suggestion. Once I do that, I'm going to now go to the kappa and I need to sign off on it. So if either I can go to the assignment here because I'm still logged in as a owner. So right here, process or close the kappa. This is where, so this is a decision I need to make because I accepted the investigator suggestion. So once I come here, so here, as I showed you initially, the happy path, right? So you can do your root cause analysis, you can create root, verification, action plans, everything else around the kappa. But for this demo, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the kappa right here. And I'm going to say, yeah, I accept the suggestion. There is no, we don't need to proceed to the root clause in this case. So I'm going to just hit close here. So once I close, you need to sign the kappa, right? You need to sign the closure, and there are 3 different signatories to it. Kappa owner being one of them. It's also going to be your safety reviewer and kappa closer. So let me go ahead and sign this one here. Let me just put the no action needed. And let's select the date of closing. And then so now what is happening in the background is as I sign this thing, so the very first time there is a PDF rendition which will be created, and that PDF rendition will have a signature page which will include your kappa owner, your safety reviewer, and also your kappa closer. So that rendition would take like few minutes to come through. While it's doing it, what we can do is we can also look at these things over here. So you can basically link or attach any document from your hard drive or from Opentext already. If the document is within the content server, you can pick that up, or you can pick any document from the hard drive and put it here as an attachment or as an evidence. So let's just try this. I'm going to just pick one document. So let's put QMS. Okay. And one thing I want to highlight here is you can see here we have something called a use ID template. So I can in fact create these kind of templates and apply to the documents I'm uploading. So you saw that when I selected the document, the name of the document is QMS 7 PowerPoint, but I said, okay, use this ID template and apply this ID. And when I click add on this one, and this template could be anything, so you can decide configure the name, and you can see that this document was actually uploaded as a template. So you applied that ID template into this. So that is something very cool you can use in your day-to-day business, your naming conventions for the file and things like that. Other thing which you would appreciate is all the changes we have been making, or all the processes which has been going on, has been recorded here in the history, right? So it records everything, the new value, the change value, date, timestamp. Also what it does is highlights your key points in your information. And again, what are those highlights? What are the fields you need to show in the history? Everything is configurable. So who, when, what, the highlights, the field configuration can be all done in the change history. So it gives you a comprehensive, detailed view of all what happened to this kappa. There's a comment field. You can put anything on the comment side of it, right? So let me now, since it's been probably 5 minutes already, let me go ahead and close out kappa as a safety reviewer. Let me go into this. Oh, it's still not there yet. Okay. So let me show you, while we are still waiting on the PDF rendition, let me go to the dashboard part of it. So and again, dashboard is where you can actually get all kind of information on all various type of workflows you have in your system. In our case, we are looking at kappa. So you can say, I want to look at kappa by observation type, for example. So I can go here and I can select my safety, because we have been working with safety. I would say, okay, show me all safety related kappa. Let me be on kappa here. And here we go. So it actually shows you the statuses, right? It shows you like how many are closed, and how many there are signatures and pendings and all kind of things. So this is a really good information on one screen. Not only that, you can actually click on one of these right here and go right into any of the kappa which has been done directly from the search. Apart from there, again, you can access your history from here. You can, if you would like, you can just look for the summary information. It provides you a brief summary of the flow, what has happened to this kappa. So this dashboard, again, is all configurable, right? So you can decide, again, what kind of fields you want to see, what kind of parameters you want to see. Within the QMS admin, you can actually decide on the dashboard. Let me just try again and see if the PDF rendition has gone through. Here we go. So here is a signature task I have. It's a different icon. I'll try now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close out on my kappa. So I'll approve and sign as a kappa owner. Okay. And let me now also go out and, so as I said, there are 3 different signatories. I'll go out and approve and sign as a safety reviewer. So I have this task where I have to look at it and see if I accept or reject. And as you can see on the top, initially there were just 4 tabs. Now I have a 5th tab called e-signature, because that's where I've started capturing the e-signature. I'll show this again once we are done with all the 3 signatures. So let me go ahead and just accept this. So once I accept it, I should have a task to e-sign it. There we go. Let me go ahead and e-sign this one. All right. Now I'm going to also go as a CAPA closer. I'll go into my assignments, accept it, and then sign it. Accept it. And again, we are taking this happy path where we are accepting everything, but you can obviously reject it. It goes back to the previous state, and the workflow goes accordingly. Let me go ahead and close out this. All right, so there we are. So let me just go back to our dashboard here. Let's look for that kappa. Let's look for this kappa over here. Look for safety. Apply this parameter. This is my kappa which I was working on, and it's now you can see the state is closed. I can directly go into it. I can look at all the information which are there, and I can also look at the e-signature. So here it is, the PDF version of e-signature. I can open that PDF to see it. You can see that the e-signature has been captured, the kappa closer, the date timestamp, meaning of the signature, title. Similarly, there are other signatures for safety. Again, these are on separate pages, but these are everything is configurable. So if you like, all the 3 signatures could be displayed in one page. Not only is just the signature is there, but it also has information about all the forms, the observation form, the kappa investigation. All the information is right here on the signature page. So let me go back. Also, what we have is, I talked about reports a little bit, so let me just go ahead and click on those reports. And we can actually generate a report for, let's say, kappa status report, for example, right? So we can generate an HTML. I will just go ahead and select, I want safety, I want for Boston, and I can just click a button right here to create an HTML report, and then boom, there we go. And again, as I said, everything is configurable, so you can decide what columns you want on the report. You can decide on the headings of the reports what you want, and there are various, like you can, as I said, you can do PDF, doc, Excel, CSV, all kind of report. There's plenty. I can go over this for another hour or so, but there's a time constraint here. I know everybody is busy. I would like to just thank everyone, and if there are questions, Kevin, shoot me over. I can answer some of them.
Yeah, no, that's great. And yes, of course, we only obviously want to allot 35 to 40 minutes to kind of go through a high-level presentation. What we'd encourage, if there is interest in seeing a deeper dive demo, we're always welcome to go into that in a one-on-one scenario. So yes, I want to thank you, obviously, Sunil, for showing us around the solution and some of the things that it can do inside of the Opentext platform. We will go ahead and stop the recording.